I'll start the recording here. Long,
Hey.
long sleeve, y'all. Long sleeve tee. Check
Wow. You look like a kid.
But oh yeah, my haircut. I had to get a haircut. Had to clean up. I couldn't wait for the 100K.
That's okay. I'm getting my nose pierced soon anyways.
So, what are your thoughts on the last 24 hours?
My last 24 hours have been filled with bliss and freedom.
I don't know. Was that after you signed off from Twitter because they were being too depressing?
Yo, everyone, even in real life, I just kind of started tuning people out because I'm like, whatever happens, happens. You guys want to spend the next 24 hours freaking out over which way it's gonna go? Like, I don't. So I'm not gonna. And I did it.
Yeah, I haven't really had to deal with it too much. I mean, I was kind of stressing out this morning, talking to my wife about it, and she's like, "Why are you so stressed out? You can't control it." I was like, "I know, but
Yeah.
a lot of it for me." And I was thinking about this, when I was putting Melody to bed. I think it's a combination of everything for me that's been going on, especially the past couple of weeks or so. I've been stressed out about the election, um, stressed out about job situation. All that has been leading me to not get much sleep. And then the less sleep I get, the more I stress out about the stuff and I start getting depressed about everything. Nothing seems to be going smoothly and I'm worried about a whole lot. And really, it's kind of funny because as far as the election goes, I mean, I want Biden to win. I still wanted him to win like last night and stuff. It didn't go quite as smooth as I wanted it to go. But and I even started thinking it's like, well, if Trump actually pulls out and gets reelected, just the whole kind of back and forth and everything about it is what's stressing me out. Like it just seems like
Yeah, I'm not too stressed. I saw this video. It was, I believe, Jimmy Fallon and Bernie Sanders, and Bernie was explaining how there's these places in like Michigan, Pennsylvania, I think North Carolina. He was naming all these places, and he's like, who are getting all these mail-in ballots, but they're not allowed to count them until after, the deadline. I don't know the word.
yeah.
And I was like, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, ultimately, I'm kind of the stance of, I mean, everyone did what they could, so whatever happens, happens.
I mean, kind of the funny thing about it is there's hypocrisy on both sides is what's irritating to me.
Mm-hmm.
But because this is nothing different than at least what they did when Obama first got elected. Said Democrats cheated. He wasn't a real citizen. Spent years trying to disprove his citizenship, his birth certificate to get him. And then, nothing changed. He got reelected. Then they were saying, oh, he's going to force martial law to stay in power, blah, blah, blah. That never happened. Trump got elected. Democrats spent 3 years trying to disprove his election to get him out of office. He didn't get reelected, it doesn't look like. Now Republicans are saying, no, the only way that's possible is because the Democrats cheated, blah, blah. I mean, it's exhausting.
I honestly don't know who's winning.
Biden. But the Biden is. The whole thing is exhausting, though. I mean, if you think about it, and I was looking back to as far back as I can remember. Like, it feels like it's at least every 4 years, it's like this in some way. At least since I could vote, I felt this way.
The first election that I remember I was in the second grade, and it was Bush versus John Kerry. Is that who it was?
Yeah, that was the second election I ever voted in.
And I was like, yeah. And I remember my teacher had this like mock vote on the board. There was a Bush column and a Kerry column. I'm pretty sure I voted for Kerry, but that's just because I liked his name.
I voted for Kerry because he's Democrat. And I just didn't like Bush at the time. At the time, I really didn't consider myself Democrat or Republican, but I just didn't like Bush. What was I gonna say? But I was trying to think back as far as like I remember being a kid and you could put, everybody had stickers of who they were voting for on their car, and it like nobody cared. Essentially, at least not from what I can remember, but I was a kid. I wasn't paying attention. Now it's like, now it's just kind of, I've thought about it since I put a Biden sticker on my truck, and then sometimes I'm driving around and I'm like, I don't know if that was a good idea. Like,
yeah, I can definitely tell you that it's obviously different from when you were a kid, because I mean, social media definitely wasn't as big, and cancel culture and exposing people, like I'm sure people got exposed, but not to the same level that people get exposed to today,
Yeah, that's true. That's true. There wasn't social media to magnify everything. I mean, we didn't really even have internet till I was like 17, 18 was starting to become a thing. So that's true. That's a good point. And then that made me think, was it always this kind of divisive between parties and between friends and family and what candidate they were voting for? And I think at different times and different generations, maybe not every election, but definitely there are certain ones that it was. So I guess in a way it's just always kind of been this way.
I wonder if when people were out there voting for like Teddy Roosevelt, they felt this scared.
I think there's always been this. I think it's more magnified now, maybe, or at least it feels more magnified to us. But yeah, I think there's always been one side versus the other side, and they think they're ones that right and stuff like that. But I keep getting drawn into politics, man. I don't know what it is. I'm really getting interested in being active in it somehow next year. But I think there's always, I mean, it's kind of that way on purpose. That's why there's the different levels of government and the two different parties. So no one party has control. So there's always a shift. So
I also think it's good to not be of the hive mind, like not be like, I'm just gonna do this because everyone else is, and if I don't do it, then someone's gonna talk shit about me,
Yeah.
Like there's plenty of people who I think are extreme on both sides that I still talk to. Like I'm still cool with them, because at the end of the day, like I'm still gonna have to work with you. You're still part of my family, like all that. I'm not like it's serious, but it's not like cut off serious for me.
I mean, I'm weirdly like bittersweet right now. The ironic thing I was gonna say is because Trump is saying, "I'll stop counting the votes, and we need to just stop counting the votes." And I've seen some people that I follow that are saying, "Okay, if they stop counting the votes right now and just take it for where the votes are right now, then Biden wins. So if you really want us to stop, like, I mean, we can, but we're trying to, be sure that everything is coming in and they have, they're going to have to recertify all the votes and stuff anyway. Everything is just projection until December 14th when the electorates in each state go submit the electoral college votes. So it's, I mean, nothing's really official until then anyway. But I'm all for,
you've been doing your research.
I mean, it's just politics. Yeah,
it's nothing, just some politics.
I don't know. I've just weirdly gotten more and more into it every year. But what was I gonna say? Yeah, but I'm like kind of bittersweet because I voted for Biden. I was hoping he was gonna win. I think, in this case, he's a better candidate to kind of shift at least some of what Trump has done kind of back. But that's the same reason why I voted for Trump in 2016, because we had 8 years of Democrats and 8 years of Obama stuff. And first of all, I think Hillary.
And you're like, it's time to fuck shit up.
So it was like, part of me was hoping that, well, part of me was voting for Trump thinking that Hillary was going to win anyway. And then I wouldn't have to feel guilty if Hillary was president because I didn't vote for her, which that part succeeded. But then when Trump won, I was kind of nervous. And I was like, well, hopefully, because I wasn't really too into him because he was already just Trump, even during that election process. Mm-hmm. I'm like, well, maybe, he'll get the right people around him. They'll kind of control how he acts and what he tweets and stuff, and it won't be so bad. And that never happened. So but honestly, yeah, we already had this discussion. I didn't know until probably last year or maybe even the beginning of this year that I wasn't going to vote for him again. And then that just kind of just grew and grew and grew and grew and grew till like I couldn't check that box for Biden fast enough. Like I was just done with Trump. I'm just ready for that shift. And it's like, I mean, the whole process is just now beginning because it's going to be so drawn out. I mean, even when the final numbers do come in the next few days or week or however long it takes, it's going to be Biden. Trump's going to fight it any which ways any way he can, which is fine. Because then once all that comes back that it's valid, then you just going to have to deal with it. And then we're going to have to deal with, he's probably not going to make it professional or easy or anything to, transfer the power to Biden. It's just going to be
that's the thing. People are like flipping out, like Trumpies are like, if Biden becomes president, then all this stuff is going to happen tomorrow when we find out that he's becoming president. Like, no, bro. Do not know when the inauguration is. Do not know that shit is happening until January.
I was thinking the same thing. And that goes back to, it's the same story every year, depending on which side wins. Like every year, it's the same thing. People are like, every year, where, people on one side say, if that candidate wins, I'm leaving the country. Nobody leaves the country. Nothing happens. It sucks for the people that lost, that wanted their candidate to win, but it's not the end of the world. And then it's like, we'll do it all again in 4 years. It's
yeah, that's the thing. Everyone's flipping out, but it's like
and it's just, this is just the way it is. I mean, honestly, but yeah, there were parts of me that were getting very concerned on what the world was going to look like if we had Trump for another 4 years. And that's why it's like, I'm not going to vote for him. But it's like right now it's a little bittersweet that, there's just more than likely Biden's going to win. So I'm happy about that. But then there's part of me that's like, kind of didn't want to win this way. It kind of still depressing to me that, there's still this long fight ahead, and it's gonna, there's still half the country that hates the other half of the country, and it's just, the whole thing is just kind of sad to me, depressing. But I think some of that again goes back to, I'm already depressed about other stuff, And a lot of that has to do because of I haven't been getting sleep and I haven't been getting sleep because I'm stressed, and it's just been kind of snowballing into this weird state of mind that I've gotten in the past couple of weeks. But hopefully now that it's over, I'm pretty confident that Bayern's going to win. So I'm not seeing that I'm not going to lose any sleep tonight. Last night, I actually got off of work early, Dad. I had to work, and then they closed the store early because they were, I guess, renovating some of it. We closed at 10. I was home by 10:30. I was like, awesome. I can go home and watch the election results. I stayed up to about 2, which is would have been the time I would have came home after closing anyway, probably. And
oh my God, you worked that late?
When we closed, yeah. And we were busy, man. We were so busy. Like if we didn't close at 10, who knows when we got out of there, because everybody's just ordering pizza and I guess watching the election.
Oh, you were at
Domino's. Yeah, because I've been picking up extra hours there since I didn't know when this other job was going to start. So I've been working like pretty much 6 nights a week there. But yeah, so I got home, took a shower, and started watching election results. And I have a second YouTube channel that I started, I guess last year. Remember a couple last year or so when I was thinking about getting into politics. And I had started an Instagram page and a Twitter page and a YouTube channel, but I'd never used them. They're all just sitting there blank. But now that I've kind of getting back into that thought process.
You know what I think would be really good for you to do is if you had like your own podcast where you're just ranting about stuff that you see in the news. Like I feel like that would be really entertaining.
I might do that on the other channel, because what I ended up doing last night was I kind of, I talked to my computer camera, I guess. And I was like, well, I'll record it and kind of talk about what I'm watching on election results and what my feelings are, and kind of react to the results type thing. Did a post. I was like, well, this is kind of political or whatever, and I'm not going to put it on my 512 Mark DD channel. I'll put it on it's like D Mark Daniel, I think it's under. I'll put it on that, since that, if I ever do get into politics and use it for that I'll just put it on there, and expecting nobody's going to watch it. I got like 10 views, I guess, because it had election in it. I don't know.
Oh, wow.
But it's just me kind of just rambling on for like 20 minutes. So it's like, I'll post this on our channel, but I might post it on there too, since this is kind of a continuation of the election anyway. Because at the time I quit recording and signed off and went to bed, it was like everything was up in the air, and they, certain states had closed down and said we're not going to count anymore until tomorrow, and there was really nothing else going to happen. So I was like, well, I need to get some sleep anyway because I had to work.
Yeah.
Today. So I was like, I shut it off. So it just kind of ended. So I kind of said in the video, it's like, well, because I talked about our podcast and stuff. But I said, well, I'll mention this to Raven, so I'll post this video here too, just because I figured by tonight we'd be talking, that obviously we're going to have more information about the election. So, I mean, all the projections are saying Biden's pretty much the winner, and they're just not officially calling anything yet. They have to wait. But even if they kind of like what they're saying is the same thing everybody's just tweeting, even if they did stop counting right now, then Biden's the winner. He's going to win the states that they're still counting. So, because he's ahead in at least the last few of the 4 states. I think there's 3 or 4 states left. So I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know about. Oh, that's a thought. I might do that.
Your own podcast?
I don't know about podcasts, but maybe just rambling to YouTube on that other channel.
People like ranters, and you're definitely good. Oh, man. Oof. My phone literally landed on my fingertip. Ugh, you're good at ranting. That's
You
right.
think I'm a ranter?
You're definitely a freaking rant.
Really? I don't know. I know I can talk, but I don't know if I consider that a rant. To me, a rant is like.
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I went out for a second.
I don't know. To me, ranting about something is like going off about something and being upset about something.
I think just talking about something for a long time is considered a rant.
Oh, I guess that's another. Yeah, that's probably a version of that definition. Yeah, you're true. Very true. The Mark D Rant channel.
512 Mark Rant.
Oh man. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if that. Now that you mentioned that, if somebody other than Tori comments on it and requests that.
Somebody other than Tori. Tori's gonna be like your #1 supporter.
That's cool. At least we got someone.
Amen. Shout out Tori. We give you a shout out. Shout out to the most shout outed person. I haven't even shouted out my mama yet.
I don't know. I kind of like sprinkling those in there just so, because then I'll know I'll get a text or something later when he watches it.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Mark wants to start. He'll be like Mark, Rant Podcast Daniel.
The Mark's Rant Experience.
Hey, that works. I'm still watching the Kanye and Joe Rogan. I haven't even gotten through it yet.
Are you serious? I thought you would have got through it by now.
Well, no, I started watching. There's this podcast. It's called Stiff Socks. It's by this comedian Trevor Noah, and I always say Trevor Noah. Trevor Wallace.
Yeah, I've seen them before.
And Michael Blaustein. I love them. They're so funny.
I did see Kanye's tweet though. Did you see the picture? And he's like,
yeah. Yeah, that was
like,
that was
don't delay the paperwork this time, Kanye.
Yeah. Get it together and bring it back to us.
Stay on top of that, bro.
But yeah, this is good chat. We definitely need to update once the results are out.
So, how do you feel about like the break, taking Sunday off?
How do I feel about it?
Yeah, how did you feel about it? Did you like feel like something was missing? Did you like having the?
I felt like something was missing, but also I was like, yes, I can do crazy shit and then wake up like at 1 o'clock. Except for, I don't think I woke up at 1 o'clock. I woke up early because I had to go get my car, but
I didn't really notice the difference, but you know what's funny is Melody did.
Yeah.
Said, Daddy, you and Raisin aren't working today?
Aww.
Said, no, not today.
Aww. Melody's so cute.
She was like, why not? Like all concerned. Why not?
What happened?
It's like we had the day off.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna have to consider either starting way earlier or switching the day, because I have to work every Sunday now.
Every Sunday?
At least for the rest of this month.
Well, I know the Orlando band.
I'm off Friday and Saturdays.
I think the Orlando band, we have them on the 15th at 9
a.m.
Yeah, you still do that?
Yeah.
and I'll talk to Marcus. I don't know what my schedules are. I might get a Friday off. Right now, the only for sure day I have off is Sundays,
Mm-hmm.
and that's because of weekends. Me and my wife have to split it, so she's off on Saturdays, and I have to be off on Sundays. During the week, we have babysitter, so so in order to get this job, I pretty much had to open up my availability. But I'll get my schedule like 2 weeks out, and then every week you get it for the other 2 weeks. So I'll know what my schedule is, and then from there I'll have to like pretty much tell Domino's every 2 weeks, here's my availability, because I can't say the Tuesday Friday thing because I don't know how I'll work anywhere from 8 a.m. to 11 p.m.
Yeah.
So but I had to open up my availability just in order to get the job. So I'll talk to Marcus, and even for him doing it at 12 he's like, that's kind of early for me. Dude, like it's noon, like, but I know
But he's in Central Time, right?
He's in Central Time. And I know he's really busy, so it'd probably work out. Even tell him, hey, we'll have to reschedule again because of our availability, and then he'll probably be okay with it because I feel like he's got a lot going on.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll do that. We'll keep Monolith, and then I don't know. Originally my thought was kind of see, because Marcus was on the 8th, and then the band was on the 15th, and I was like, well, I'll see after those two, see how that goes, and what it's like to have a guest that we don't really know and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And what your schedule is. So I guess we'll play it by ear. So it's kind of good that we went ahead and did this now on a Wednesday, because it might be another week and a half. But I'm kind of okay with that. If it's like every week and a half, or if we get on a schedule back to a week, we'll just have to figure it out.
Yeah, right now, I was actually thinking that if we did like bi-weekly. Yeah. But I don't know.
I thought about that too, if that works out that way. I mean, we'll just play by ear. I mean, you have a new job, things change with my job, I have a new job. It's just gonna have to be, we'll fit it in where we can. It's, I definitely want to keep doing it, but can't. Neither one of us really have a structured schedule right now, so we just kind of have to
do what we can.
And see how it evolves. And maybe that will just work out better that way anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd rather reschedule with Marcus than doing it with just me and him.
Okay.
It's kind of not what I had in mind anyway. All right. Well, I don't know. I feel pretty good about the election. I think really all I really need at this point is just sleep. I need to get back on a good sleep schedule.
Yeah, take a damn nap.
I thought I was going to today, but like I just couldn't turn off the news. I haven't been able to stay off my phone in weeks. My wife.
See, that's the thing. You're very obsessive. That's why I think if you did a rant channel, it would be interesting and people would be like, oh, what's Mark ranting about today? But you are very obsessive. Anything that you get interested in, it's not like 1% interest. It's like 1,000% interest until you can't stand it anymore.
It's true.
But hey, I'm the same way sometimes. I get it.
That is very true. So I don't know. Like, I think that would be a good idea, but then I wouldn't want it to consume me.
It's on your own time.
And then once it's kind of like one of those things that kind of like a rant channel or whatever is one of those things. Like, I knew people on YouTube before that were gamers, and they got real popular, you know, because when they would get mad about the game or whatever, and how they acted and especially the things he said, one gamer in particular, and the stuff they would say and talk about the game or whatever, it's like, it was hilarious when he was genuinely mad. But once that caught on and people were like, oh, that's hilarious, blah, 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 you could tell when the game was really pissing him off or he was trying to kind of act mad, because it became his thing. And I would be afraid that I would just subconsciously even get caught up in that. Oh, I got to find something to rant about. You know, there's a point where it's like, you get popular because of it, but then it's not genuine anymore because you're trying to maintain that popularity. I was like, I don't know. But that is an interesting idea. I'll think about it. Anyway, I don't have anything else. I'm pretty happy. Hopefully the rest of the noise about this, oh, Biden cheating and all this kind of stuff just dies off.
Yeah, we'll see. We will see.
Why do you have a paintbrush on your head?
Because I'm painting myself white in case Trump wins. No, just kidding. Just kidding.
That's hilarious. That you made me think too, because you mentioned this previously in another episode where when Trump did win 2016, even the next day people were like, he's gonna come deport me. It's like, calm down, he hasn't even been sworn in yet. Like,
Yup, and those same people are still in the United States of America.
Exactly.
For now. Dom felt the need to chime in.
You know what's funny is even Trump had said, if I lose, I'm leaving the country.
When did he say that?
In a bunch of his rallies. It's like, I watched a video where they're all like clipped together.
Of course he's leaving the country. I mean,
he said that in each rally, and depending on what state he was in, like Pennsylvania, it's like, if I lose, I'm not coming back here. And I'm blaming you, Pennsylvania. Maybe I'll leave the country. I don't know. And then they'd go to a clip of him in Colorado or wherever. He's like, I don't know. Maybe it'll be your fault if I lose Colorado. Maybe I'll just leave the country. He just kept saying that. It's like, dude, you don't sound like a confident person right now. You sound like somebody's afraid they're going to lose their reelection.
Someone who's a little scared.
That's okay. He can leave the country. I'll help you pack, Dom.
All right, brother. I'm out of here.
All righty. I'll see you later.
Night.
All right.